Welcome to Emerald Lake. It's me, Raven. We're settling in for some more stories. I've got the frogs are all back because I have high hopes that these will mostly be a good time. And we're back to W.P. Kinsella stories. We've got a new book. I've got it in my hand here. Woohoo! As opposed to the last one that I had to get. I had to what is the word? At a library, you don't rent a book at a library, you check it out. Anyway, it was there, and I have the one in hand now. So new book, same author, so same fun times with this guy. I'm excited, and yeah, we're gonna read more W.P. Kinsella. What was I? Oh yes, we have the new first. I just did it this stream. I had it prepped. Fet got it. Um, I realized that that's a thing other people do, and I didn't do it, and I don't know why I haven't done it, but it's there now. So ha. Um, I am going to be streaming tomorrow. I think just one stream to make up for how much I've missed, but I still have to do a bunch of things. And unfortunately, next week, I will not be available for most of my normal days. I have a bunch of things that I has to do. And so, that's another stream for Cage to Camp. yes, it is. But I'm going to see, hopefully, what will happen next week is basically that I get around to, basically I have my busy days and then I do my streams. Instead of on my usual days, I do it on, it would be maybe Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we'll see how it goes. And I'm really excited to do those because we're at my 91st stream today. Yesterday was our 90th. I told you guys that I look after my numbers. Shout out to stream 69. And I'm going to have a special stream for the 100. It's not going to be that special. It's still going to be our usual cozy. yeah. But I'm going to do some fun on the 100th, hopefully. I had originally planned for that. It was going to line up bonk for Wednesday next week. But now it's not because work. Other things I has to do. But hopefully that comes up soon and we'll get to stream number 100. If you want to keep track of which one it is, because I don't always put it on my numbers or in my titles, we're on 91 right now and we'll have 92 tonight. So you can, there you go. That's how you can keep track. Hola, El Chiquitas, hello. So yeah, that's what we got. Now, for the book that we are reading today, we're reading from, we probably won't get through it all, just like before's. It's W.P. Kinsella's next anthology that I've got here. I don't know orders, but it's called The Moccasin Telegraph. Woohoo, Moccasin Telegraph. And so we've got some fun stories, probably some tough, heavy stories, but as with this author, it's usually all very, very compelling. Oh, that one's fun. Okay, the first few that we're probably going to get around to is The Bottle Queen, Strings, The Moccasin Telegraph, Green Candles. There's a bunch of fun. I'm excited. Okay, so with that, I will go ahead and I will write out The Bottle Queen and all the places I keep track of that. And we'll get started. You can drop your redeems in, and we'll get to them after this first story. Just type it up here. And oh, I forgot to do this. You heard the double sound, I'm sure. I try and avoid that because it's trippy how with the lag, I'm sure. Ooh, okay, that was noisy. We're not doing Singing Bowl right now. That was the old one. It is the Bottle Queen. I'm excited. I'll just give you reminders. I'm uploading my VODs. I need to check in with Vi. That's something I forgot to do. Need to check in with Vi about when she'll get the VOD for the origami stream up / when I can get it attached to my channel, because I want to do that for you guys. And yeah. Konnichiwa, what's up? That's cute. I like that, Crummy. Welcome, welcome. Alright, what's up is we are just about to start our first story. Oh, and yeah, I added a weekly subs goal at the top. And we had 1 sub yesterday, so we got 1 sub. Alright, here we go. The Bottle Queen. Oh yeah, and this one, I see the forward pages, it says, "For my daughter Lindsay." Oh, sweet. Okay. No, come along. Here we go. That was such a fun collab. It was. I'm very excited to make sure it gets on my YouTube so that other people can watch it back. It was fun. It was very fun. Alright, The Bottle Queen. Ooh, we're talking about Silas's dad right off the top, the mysterious Pa. He's in this story. Alright, when I was just a kid, my father, Paul Ermineskin, took off for the city. And I only seen him a few times in the last 10 years. Ooh. He hang around the bars and missions in the city, and last time I seen him, he was in a bad shape, and I didn't figure he had long left to live. So it sure is a surprise when he come walking into the Hobama pool hall one afternoon. Ooh. Okay. "Hey, Silas," he say to me, and give my hand a shake. There's something sneaky about Pa. Maybe it is the way he walks kind of sideways, with his eyes always darting all over the place. The weather is cold, and it due to snow any minute, but Pa is wearing only a red silk western shirt, have black fringes all down the sleeves, and pants look like they come from a businessman's suit. Oh, and this book, he has it, I think this one was first published in 83, so we're still kind of in the early 80s era for all this when he talks about the clothes and such. Just a reminder. He buys a round of pop and Frito chips for me and my friends, tells us stories that make us laugh, and shows us a new way to play 8-ball that we never seen before. I actually love when you have a game and then you're like, no, let's play with all of these pieces with different rules. It's so fun to make up a game with the same items, and it's a dumbass game. Those are so fun. Okay. Pa smells of whiskey, but he ain't drunk. In fact, he looks healthier than I ever remember seeing him. I sure would like to see the other kids, Silas, he say to me. I wonder if you might sort of ask your ma if it would be okay. Sorry. He shows them 9-ball. Silly little tart. So now he's asking to see his other kids. After he walked out on everybody, he said he just went to the city. No other details that Silas is very quiet about his dad, so it's so crazy. We're starting right off with that, but we just skipped over why he left. We're just in, now he's back. Okay. He wants to see the other kids. Alright. Pa smile at me when he say that, and I can see that him and me look quite a lot alike. I frowned some. Oh, that's your response to looking like your dad? Ooh. Me and Ma and all the kids but Dolores got more than our share of bad memories about Pa. Dolores, she wasn't even born yet, though Ma's belly was big with her when Pa left for good. Tell us the bad memories. I want to know. I know that it's obviously bad stories, but this is like, Silas, you tell us all these things. You're not going to tell us your Pa? Anyway, okay. Hey, Silas, look at me, says Pa. You ever seen me looking so good? I straightened myself out some, been off the booze and eaten good meals. Even got a job lined up. He smiled again and slapped me on the arm. A guy who's able to charm the warts off a toad is how Mad Etta, our medicine lady, described Paul Ermine's skin. Humph. Sorry, we'll say that again. Humph. Ma say when I tell her Pa is back on the reserve. He better not come around when he's drunk if he know what's good for him. Then I mention he want to see the kids. They're all big enough to make their own minds up, she says. Just let me know so's I can be away if he comes around. Fair enough, Ma. Hello, Divod. I'm doing good. Everyone else, how you doing? I hope we're doing good. Good thing. I always forget to ask that. I'm always just like, let's go. Let's jump in. Never talk properly. I should have a couple of streams where I don't read or fold. I just am like chatty. I should do that. That's what I'll do for my big group. That's what I'll do. I'll make a goal for you guys to put in points if you want me to do one where we're just chatting. So that I make a specific day where we just chat instead of me be distracted. I can only be distracted by you guys. That way it'll be fun. Okay. Alright. Of the kids, only Dolores is interested. Thomas and Hiram and Minnie, young as they were, all have enough bad thoughts about Pa not to want to see him. Pa stay off with an old friend of his, Isaac Hyde. He keep asking me for my sister Ileana's address in Calgary, but I keep pretending I forgot to look it up. A yapping stream. Yeah. Okay. I'll figure out that later. Okay. He's saying he's not gonna tell Pa Ileana's address. Ileana is married to a white man, live in a big new house. Pa wouldn't be comfortable there. Dolores had never had a father, and I guess has always wished for one. She keep a picture of Jay Silverhills, the movie actor, and Alan Sapp, the artist, pinned to the wall, and I heard her tell a girlfriend once that the picture of Alan Sapp was really one of her father. Ooh. That hurt. Okay. Pa and me was still 100 yards from the cabin when Dolores explode out the door and hang herself on his neck. If you want to see somebody get hugged, you look at Paul Ermine's skin that afternoon. Dolores glue herself to his hand and lead him around the reserve like he never been there before. She tell him all about how she is the best bottle collector there is and show him the 40 or so dozen beer bottles stacked by the side of the cabin. Ordinarily, bottles left around like that would disappear real quick, but me and my friends Frank Frentzpost and Rufus Firstrider let it be known anybody stealing from Dolores have to deal with us. The younger kids is enough afraid, especially of Frank, who like to act tough, that they leave things be. Frank is a chaos agent. Of course they don't want to mess with him. Don't fuck with Frank Fencepost. Okay. People who know her call Dolores the Bottle Queen. That is because she is able to collect more beer bottles and pop bottles than anybody around the reserve. If you throw a bottle out the door of your cabin, Dolores Ermineskin will catch it before it hits the ground, Mad Etta say of her, and she say it with a prideful smile. Dolores take dancing lessons from Molly Thunder and Carson Longhorn. They's about the best chicken dancers around. Twice a week, Dolores pack up her costume, that what Ma made out of an old dress, stuff it in a shopping bag comes from the Shoppers Drug Mart in Wetaskiwin, and head down to Blue Quills Hall for her lesson. Carson Longhorn tell me she is really good. She win the prize for girls under 12 at our own powwow, and she win again a $5 prize at the Rocky Mountain House Rodeo. If she had the money to travel to more powwows, she'd win almost every time, Carson tell me. We need to get this girl to more powwows. Let's go. I just missed one nearby because I had other stuff to do. I almost went. I've gotten nice earrings at the last one. Okay. Dolores is sometimes shy and sometimes bold. She can be as determined as a bird pulling a worm out of the ground. Her eyes is black and move fast as a crow's. She can spot a bottle in a ditch from 100 yards. Yeah, we get it. She is the bottle queen. Sometimes when we drive back from Wetaskiwin or Ponoka, even at night, she spot a glint in the ditch. No more of a shine than a firefly, and she make me stop the truck. I watch her disappear into the ditch, walking real determined, hiking up her jeans, her pigtails, what by that time of day coming undone, bouncing on her shoulders in the glow from the truck lights. In a minute she come back, usually with a bottle in each hand, grinning like somebody just gave her $1. In winter, she can tell whether a hole in a snowdrift had been made by wind, an animal, or a bottle. She wade right in, have almost to swim against the drift sometimes, yeah. But she come out, grip a bottle in her mitten, have snow on her clothes right up to the armpit. I love that. Determined. Dolores have a reason for collecting all the bottles she does. Molly Thunder, her dance teacher, also make costumes. Boy, at the powwows you see some dancers decked up in costumes make them look like a rainbow when they twirl around as they dance. Molly make those kind, fancy ones with real colored feathers in the bustle and headdress. And the jackets and moccasins she makes be solid beadwork done on real buckskin. Ooh, I can see it. Molly sell them costumes for sometimes $1,000, and Indian dancers from all over Canada order their dancing dress from her. Molly promised to sell Dolores a costume at cost for only $300. Ooh, real deal. $300, sorry. A champion dancer should have fancy duds, is what Molly says. Oh. And Dolores, she look at them costumes, finger the beadwork and feathers every time she at Molly's cabin. This reminds me of the story we had the chief's wife made a really fancy costume, but she couldn't really dance. Go get her costume. Go get her to make you a costume. Okay. How can somebody who's only 10 years old earn $300? Dolores asked me. Ooh, Cage, you raid in with your 6. Oh, I love it. Okay, hold on. Fett, give him a shout out. Come on. Okay, we pause story. Where do I? Oh, I'll use a frog. I'm going to use one of my origami frogs. There's a bookmark there. Hi. Welcome in Yar and Cage. Shout out for Cage. Go see Cage stuff. How was your stream? Now that you showed me that you were streaming. I'm not good at remembering when you stream and when you don't, because I am so often not on here. I'm very bad about that. But I hope it was good. Come on in. Ooh. Do you guys see the little cage? I like the little cage. In a cage. It's so cute. Okay. Welcome. Alright. I say do. Oh yeah. Dolores is only 10 years old when she's doing this. And 10 years old when she's collecting all this stuff. It's great. Oh, my schedule is inconsistent due to my work schedule, but honestly, not the best stream. Oh, that's too bad. Wasn't a fan of the game, so I switched gears to blow off steam for a bit. Otherwise, I'd been more in time. Don't gotta worry about time for me. Don't you worry about that. But, glad you switched to something you like better. You know, if it's not worth it, get out of there. But, Yar, don't worry about it. Go ahead and lurk. Feed the dogs. Send photo of dogs in the pets channel in Discord if you want. Cause pets be adorable. Show me the puppers. Take your time. They need the feed. You need the feed too. If you haven't done the eat, go eat. Dog pics. I see what you're saying. Cage, look after you. Lurk away or disappear. Just because you is mod doesn't mean you shouldn't go take care of yourself after your stream, especially if it wasn't your best. Yeah, take your times, and you don't have to post anything in the group if you don't want to post anything personal. We always love the aminals. Okay, I focus. Back to story. I will find food soon, but it's okay. I was reading it as I will food soon, which is a fun, terrible grammar, adorable, fun. Okay. How can somebody who's only 10 years old earn $300? Dolores asked me. She wants that $300 for her costume. How's she supposed to do that? Well, I suggest she collect bottles, but I thought she'd get tired of it in a few days, like kids do. Not that she'd take her collecting serious as a religion, but she did. Every day after school, she'd go off with her gunny sack, dragging behind her, and walk the ditches of Highway 2A, either south or north from Hoboma. She also stay up late on weekend nights when people are partying and circulate from cabin to cabin. Smart girl. A little bit dangerous, but smart girl. For a 10-year-old to be hanging out when everybody's partying, not always the best. But yeah, get them bottles. Soon as an empty or nearly empty bottle been set down on a table, it disappear under Dolores's coat, people say. But they don't say it mean. Everybody is kind of proud to see a young girl work as hard as she does. Sometimes Dolores is like a growed-up woman, especially when she is working or counting her money, which she collect in $1 bills. 'Cause I look like I'm more rich that way, I guess she says. It just says in quotes there. Other times when she smile up at me, showing how one of her big front teeth is only halfway grown in, she is like a little girl. She is. She is like a little girl with Pa. If being loved could make you a better person, then Pa would be about equal to an angel. And Pa, I guess, is affected some by the way she treat him. One day after him and Isaac Hyde been to town drinking, he give to Dolores a barrette for her hair. It not an ordinary one, but it made from leather with pretty beads all over it. This here belonged to your grandma Ermine's skin, I hear him tell Dolores. She used to dance in all the powwows, and was as good as anybody. Guess you take after her. Aww. Well, Dolores couldn't have liked that barrette better if it was made of solid diamonds. She don't wear it in her hair, but carry it on a thick string around her neck and show it to anybody she meet, whether they interested or not. It make me mad to see Pa do that for her. Oh, it is the first I ever heard of my grandma being a dancer, though she did die before I was born, and I don't know too much about her. But the idea of Pa carrying anything around with him for more than a month or so is not very likely. Pa, he don't own nothing but the clothes on his back, and when he's drunk, I think he even sometimes lose some of them. The clothes, he means there. Him and Isaac Hyde drink a lot at the Alice Hotel beer parlor the last couple of weeks, and Pa looked like he going back to his habit of not eating very often. One afternoon when we hanging around the Hoboma pool hall. Hi, LaHonk. You are on a bit of a delay from the other raid message, but hello. You'll be back for dins? Okay, you'll be back time for dins? Yes, okay, go eat, tart. Hello, good evening, Dumda. We back to WP Kinsella stories. LaHonk, I meant to give you a good thank you for the bits before. Can we get some money frogs in for LaHonk? Let's give extras, because LaHonk cheered right at the end of the stream yesterday. I didn't even see it because we were already rated out. I was like, what the heck? What the heck are you doing? And now you've got more. Thank you. You absolutely did catch me off guard. You had me spinning. I was like, the heck, where am I? Ah, yay, yay, yay. Oh, the money frogs. Thank you, everybody, for giving the excite for the honk. Thank you very much, Lahonk, for the bits. Very generous. Okay, I I took the frog's hat again. How dare you take the frog's hat again? In our Discord, Lahonk sent a message of a very cute little frog getting a little gentlemanly top hat, but he had the gift that like looks like they had the hat and then took it away, and then later Lahonk posts the version where he doesn't have a hat and someone gives him the hat. A much better version of this story. How dare you take his hat? Stop taking his hat. He is a gentleman frog. Ugh, rude. Give him a mustache. Don't take his hat. Okay, so back to story. Oh yes, looks like Pa is back to drinking and not eating as much. So he cleaned up his act, but not for very long. And Silas seems to think that maybe Pa is lying about Grandma being a dancer. That, or he just doesn't talk about her because, you know, she did die before he was born, and so he doesn't really know much about her. Could be either way, but it's very much likely that Pa didn't actually hold on to a barrette from his mother to give to Dolores, like Pa says that he did. Silas is very sus of Pa. I'm gonna have to head out. Ooh, dance lesson. Get that dancing. Good for you, Vet. I like. Go enjoy the dance. We're talking about a great dancer in here. Go be a great dancer out there, Vet. Sounds good. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Okay, yes. One afternoon, when we hanging around the Hobama Pool Hall, Bert Cardinal get off the southbound bus. Bert, he been in jail for a few months for driving off with a car don't belong to him. Hey, Paul, what you up to since you got out? Is the first thing he say to my papa. Ooh, first time he calls him Papa. I really want to analyze how Silas talks about his dad, which is probably getting a little too close to this fictional character's mental health. I should probably leave it alone, but I'm like, what aren't you telling me? Tell me. Ooh, yes. Do that exact dance. Get that costume. Go for it, Fett. Or what kind of dance is it? Do I get to know? Is it waltzing? Is it line dancing? Salsa? Hip hop? Irish dancing? Is it tap? Is it there's all kinds of dance. Charleston. Ooh, nice. We'll get you lined up to be in an old style musical, and then you can just go off. Okay, I focus again. All right. Yes, Bert, the jailbird, just got out and asks what Paul, our papa's, is up to. I'm teaching the class on Thursday. Oh, you're a dancer, capital D dancer. You're not just learning it now. Look at you. Are you a dancer like Dolores? Do you chicken dance? Okay. I focus. I need to focus. But there's lore on Fett to learn. Which do I choose? Hi, Brady. Welcome in. Fett is a legend. Ooh. I've been swing dancing for over 10 years. Wait, yes, I knew that. You do that. I knew that. Why did I not know that? Hi, Panda Girl. No, you're not late. I don't keep attendance. You're fine. Welcome in, though. Welcome in. You were mentioned in our last stream because there was like the lurk had you could say, I'm going to lurk. Dinners is up or whatever. And then go. Charleston is under the umbrella of swing. Aha, yes. You are correct. Panda Girl like onigiri. Lurk dinner. Yes, that's it. But now we don't have that anymore. Fet fixed the, the fix. But I found it very amusing, and they said that you liked it when it was broken like that too. Sorry. Fetster is a musical character? No, that's a first one. Yeah, old swing dance musical, go for it. Go do some, like, singing in the rain and such. Okay, what am I? Focus. We have too many stories going on. Your stories, and then this story. Alright. Alright, okay, so he's asking him what he's up to, and Pa tried to pretend like he don't hear the question, but Bert carried right on in a loud voice. They had to throw Paul here out. Well, he liked Fort Saskatchewan jail so much, he wanted to stay there permanent. Oh, that's why he got cleaned up, because he was in jail and didn't have access to booze and such, probably. Okay, he said he wanted to stay there, and he slapped Pa on the back. Lurk chicken. Eee! You undid it! Chicken is taking a rest. Lurk chicken. That was our little way of saying it before. I don't know why. I don't know how that became the nickname for it, but it was great. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's my cousin's biography. Oh, I hope not. But also, it's Silas Ermine skin from the W.P. Kinsella Hobama Reservation stuffs. Well, the Ermine skin reservation stuff. Okay, I focus. So now I know why he ain't been drinking for a year and been eating good. There you go. Hey, Silas, Bert says. You should have seen your old man the day he got busted. Was walking out of Woodward's with a chainsaw in each hand. What? They give him 18 months, but they throw him out in 12. I look at Pa. Oh yeah, you got the emote to go back, because I had switched it out. Okay. Thank you, Fed, for doing all the fixings. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Very appreciate. Okay. I look at Pa. I never lied to you, he says. You just never asked. Oh. For 11 minutes and 37 seconds exactly. Cage or Fett, do you want to be the one watching the timer for that? That's so specific. Okay. Send in a nod or something if you got. Okay, you got it. Good. Perfect. So silly. All right. He says he never lied to you. You just never asked. But he got a foxy look about him anyway. Yep, because he be sneaky. He be sneaky. Quite a few times, I take Dolores out in Louis Coyote's pickup truck. Look for bottles. I stop on the shoulder of the road to let Dolores out, and she head off down the ditch in kind of a zigzag run. I drive ahead exactly a mile, stop, and walk the ditch ahead, putting bottles in the gunny sack I'm dragging along. Hey, he's being a helpful brother. We love to see it. Welcome in, Shockwave. We're in Emotes Only Chat jail right now. Sorry for that. But welcome in. Hi. He's running around, and he's picking him up. I'd only get a half mile or so down the road when the truck catch up with me. I can see Dolores kneeling on the front seat, grinning and steering the truck bump down the shoulder. When she want to stop, she disappear from sight, and I know she pressing with all her might on both the clutch and the brake. Oh my gosh. Very dangerous, little 10-year-old, for you to do that. You're not tall enough to see up off the seat. That's awful. Okay. One time I even complained to her about all the bottles she was collecting. We're just gonna skip over Dad being sus? Okay, fine. Me and Frank used to gather up bottles to buy gas for the truck, I said. Now there ain't a bottle in all of Hobama for us to find. 'Cause she's doing it all. Oops. I was sorry right away that I said it, but me and Frank wanted to take our girls for a ride, and we was broke. You and Frank don't collect bottles, you steal them, says Dolores. Ooh. Sometime Frank he borrow a case or two from somebody's yard. ... So he's trying to excuse that, hey, he just borrows it from someone's yard. But Frank steals, says Dolores, sounding like a nun or a school teacher at 10 years old. Ooh. After supper that night, Dolores come into our cabin with 4 cases of beer bottles stacked in her arms like cordwood. I couldn't even see her face behind them. I'm sorry, Silas, she said. These will give you enough gas money to get to town and back. And she set the bottles on the table and leaned in and kissed my cheek. Of course I didn't take them, even though I really would have liked to. Yes, good brother. We're saving up for her dress for the dance, and we don't want to keep her from that. One afternoon in the pool hall, Pa, he is bragging about how him and Isaac Hyde going into business together. When I hit him up about giving that barrette to Dolores. Ooh, finally, okay, we're gonna talk about the possible lie there. I checked with Ma and Mad Etta, and they say Grandma Ermineskin, though she could build a teepee and run a crosscut saw like a man, was never one to dance. Ooh. Why'd you tell Dolores that? I ask. You know she gonna find you out for a liar. I notice Pa is still wearing that red shirt with the fringes. The silky material got a fine glaze of dirt over it now. Hey, who's gonna tell her? Say Pa. You? It don't be long until Dolores recognized that barrette as something come from a craft store in Wetaskiwin, I say. She's just a little girl, says Pa. Leave her be. And he looked mean at me out of his bloodshot eyes. Next afternoon, Dolores talked me into driving her and her bottles into Wetaskiwin into the bottle depot. An old man in a dirty parka and a long-billed red cap tote up her take, which come to $49, and she take it all in ones as usual. Only $30 more, and I got enough for my costume, she announces as we drive him back. I try to talk her into spend $1 or $2 for some burgers and cokes, but she won't do it. We return Louis Coyote's truck to him and walk back to our cabin. As soon as we walk into the cabin, I know something is wrong. Uh-oh. There is a rustling noise from Dolores and Minnie's room. Oh, this is not good. There's a rustling noise from Dolores and Minnie's room, which is marked off by a sheet been thrown over some clothesline cord. When I move aside the sheet, there is Paul Ermineskin, on his hands and knees, busy stuffing money into his pockets. Dolores, she keep her costume money stashed safe in a Kellogg's cornflake box, under some clothes on the floor of her room. What are you doing? I yell, though there is no need to ask. Pa look up and make kind of a sick smile. Hey, I was just counting the money for the kid, you know. If I looked at him any meaner, he'd be deep fried. I thought you was low down the last time I seen you, I say. Hey, I was gonna pay her back. Dolores has followed me across the cabin. Oh no, she's gonna see. Dolores has followed me across the cabin, and now she hangs onto my arm real tight and sniffles some. She looks at Pa, her eyes wide, not understanding. All you had to do was ask, she say in a small, tear-choked voice. Okay, after yesterday we had a father-daughter bad relationship, and we have another, and I'm ready to scream. Halfway. Okay. It is not okay But this is the way these stories are going. All you had to do was ask. That's what this 10-year-old he is taking over $300, or sorry, over $200 from her $300. She said she was only $30 away and she had $49. So she has $221 in her box of what were they, cornflakes, that he is stealing right now. 221. And she's just gonna give that to him. And she's slowly... okay. I was doing it for you, Pa says to Dolores. This other guy and me, we going to go out and cut Christmas trees. We got a chance to make a lot of money. And his voice kind of trailed off. The money is laying there all mixed in with Dolores's clothes. Pa takes some dollars from his shirt pocket and throws them down. Okay, so he throws some of the money back down. Well, I better get going, Pa says, standing up. Got to head for Edmonton, find my partner and get to work. He pushed past me and head for the door. No, says Dolores, don't go yet. She let go of my arm, run over, scoop up some money, no, and hold it out to Pa, who has stopped and turned around. Pa flashed a smile at her like a weasel just been invited into a hen house. You don't want to give him nothin', Dolores, I say. Yes, I do, she say, real final-like. You know I'm gonna pay you back, says Pa, smiling again. I got my fists clenched, and even though I hardly ever raise my hand against anybody, right now I'd like to punch that smile right through to the back of his neck. Just go, says Dolores, pushing more money at Pa, who was stuffing it in all his pockets, even pushing some down the neck of his shirt, what don't have no buttons on the front. When Pa got the money all stashed, he wheel around and skulk out the door, giving us a little wave over his shoulder. When we can't hear his boots on the snow no more, Dolores rush over and throw her arms around me and hug real hard. She sobbed loud into my chest. Maybe she have just the slightest suspicion he was telling the truth. After a while, her crying slowed down some. I tip her head up so I can see her face and kiss her forehead. She looks so much like Pa. Maybe that was it. Maybe she can feel his blood traveling around in her. She is wearing that beaded barrette Pa gave her. Not in her hair, but hanging from around her neck. It rests in a spot where she gonna grow breasts in a couple of years. Still sniffling, she undo the barrette and hold it in the palm of her hand. Oh my gosh. Did this really belong to Grandma Ermineskin, Silas? She say to me, looking me right in the face with her wet black eyes. This is sure my chance to tan Paul Ermineskin's hide, and I'm mad enough to do it, but when I look at Dolores, it seemed to me she lost enough already today. I can't believe she doesn't know the truth. I think the woman in her does, but it is the little girl who is asking the question. And if she has to ask, I know what answer she want to hear. The end. That's so freaking sad. That's too sad. I don't like it. I mean, just rude. Just rude. Well, I'm sad, and I've been missing a bunch of redeems. I know some of them were stretches and hydrates, so we're gonna try and get the first ones of those in. So I have a stretch from Gliding Raven, a hydrate. Oh yeah, we did the emotes only. We started that in. I'll do the stretch and hydrate real quick. So hydrate. And a stretch. I think you should leave it, but oh, you already did. It's all good. Stretch. Oh. Okay. Oh. We got lots of redeems. Oh, goodness. Okay. You have returned. How lovely. Welcome back. Okay, we'll go to triggers now. So we can do that. Oh my gosh. Was meant to be help. There were 7 seconds left. Oh, yeah, that says plenty. Perfect. All right. I think what we will start with is all of Turts. The keys, and then humming and page flipping, another stretch, rage puffing, of course, card dealing dice, and page flipping again. I think the page flipping I will set for the next one. Sorry, big yawns. I will set that for the next break. The unique letter of each emote's name, except the second. Oh! Hi, ew, laugh, popcorn, help. That's so cute, Yar. I didn't realize. That's so funny. I hadn't noticed. I just saw little frogs. I didn't notice the puke one. So I was like, what's happening? But I just let it be. Oh, that's so silly. Ooh. Yes, you're back right in time, Turt. Skipped the sad story and just came for the redeems that you already asked for. So let's start with keys. Let's get that on. There we go. Ooh, doo 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 doo. Tinkly little keys. Here we go. Oh, what? Alright. Okay. Alright, there is our keys. Now we'll do humming. No. There was our hummings. Mhm. Those are very cute emotes, Cage. You got a cozy and I don't. Well, a comfy. It says comfy. I need to get a comfy. And your little pride love. That's so cute. Oh, okay. Page flipping. Yes, I'll do page flipping. Big yawns. Oh, Raven. You're tortured by all the yawning. Why? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna grab my book. Why are you so far away, books? There you are. Okay. Start with the little one with stiffer pages, as usual. And now our bigger book, fluffier pages. Here we go. And there's our page flipping. Alright. Oh my goodness, hold on a second. I'm thinking I'm getting some backfire. I am feeling too sleepy, cozy. Ugh. Raven goes back to bed. No. Very weird that I'm tired now, but I feel it. I can only blame myself. But okay, I have rage puffing to hopefully get me well and awake. It's rage time. Alright. Rage puffin, rage puffin. Oh, welcome. Thank you for the follow, Pat Games. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Hi, hi, hi. We're doing a very weird redeem, but, we'll enjoy. Or, sorry. Oh, why did I hit cry? Why was I cry? No, I'm not cry. I'm rage. It doesn't know how to do eyebrows at all. I need to adjust my model so that she can recognize when I do eyebrows. Okay. Rage. Good one, good one. Alright. Oh, posture check. Good call, good call. She pout. She just end with pout. I have a Canadian leaf? No, it's not a Canadian leaf. Besides, what you think of is the leaf that is Canadian is a maple leaf. It is a tree leaf. It's not a leaf that was made up for the country. It's not a fictional leaf. It's a leaf from a tree that is maple tree. So it is maple leaf. Okay. But no more of it. I'm not going to do any more rage puffing. I'm out. I'm just done. Ugh. Thank God again. Oh. I know that Turt likes to say mission impossible to not fall asleep in my thing. And I think it is true of me right now. Even I can't stay awake for a me stream. I'm gonna sleep. Ugh. Maple leaves are a government conspiracy to make us think Canadians are skis. That's fun. That's fun. Maple leaves are sweet and taste like taffy. What? I can't say I've tried. I have not tried to eat a leaf. Well, not a maple leaf. Lettuce leaf. Okay, Cardio. See, Raven, your ASMR is too strong. Apparently so. This is actually false. I have tried when I was a kid. Oh, yes. I once saw a Canadian. What? They're real? No way. I mistook it for a comedian. Ah, classic mistake. Could it have been both? I once dated a Canadian. He gave me a bad first impression. She gave you a bad first impression. Either way. I'm wondering what do you mean by bad first impression? And if that's supposed to be a comment on all Canadians or just like, no, just so happened. Paid actor. Once saw a Canadian. Okay, I'm going to do card dealing. We're adjusting for that, so the mic's about to be loud, possibly. Okay. Pretty good. Alright. Let me do the cards. She was not a pleasant person. She had some strong ... biases. Ooh. Yes, that is unfortunate. We don't want to get too specific with anybody, right? Sometimes you gotta respect the personal information, location included, folks. Cage could answer, but just so you know, that may be something that they don't want to share. You never know. Yeah, okay. USA, vague. Probably from context, we could have guessed not Canada as well. do it again right now. I'm so out of it. I'm so tired. And Rage Puff is pink energy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you missed it. I'll tell you what, I'll do just a couple of... There you go. That's what you get. Okay. Okay. We tuck this away. Ooh. Bonked and slapped. Bam, bam. Big fight. Ooh, 109 degrees. Percent. I kind of like the idea of Riz is degrees and not percent. Ooh, I should change that. Okay, but nice Riz level. Terrible Riz for Yar. Sorry about that, friend. And oof, the love is bad. Oh, but Cage! A hundo! Woo, 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 woo. Sorry, Yar, yeah. First Australian I met, I didn't like him. But after that single one, I've only met interesting Australians. Sounds like you meet the first person of a new nation and then they're awful, but then everyone after that is good. That's kind of funny. Riz. Ooh. Looks like the bot's not picking up on everybody's commands for whatever reason. I guess we got dice and then we move on. 2 for 3. The journey continues. Yes. Flopped little roll. 72% love. Yar. That's pretty good self-love. Yes, the frogs are back. It's mostly cozy stories. They'll hang out. They decided they're good today. I'm stupid. You're not stupid. You're not. Okay. Ooh, the love. That's not so good. They looking quite violent. Who is looking violent? My frogs? They're so cute little babies. They're not violent. They're just sweet little babies. No. Which one of you is on the bonk side? Don't join the dark side. Is it Ernie? I think it's Ernie. Couldn't go for 3 for 3 again. No. Typically, that's not how go. Bonk. Okay, I was doing dice. That's what we're doing before another stretch. And then we'll go back to the next stories. That's what we'll do. My end goal is 100, 110, and 20. I don't know when that will ever happen for anybody, but if it does, I hope it's for one of my mods. It's either you or Fet, maybe Dumda. That's where that perfect should go. Okay. I'm changing this, am I not? Come along. We're doing dice. Dice before we stretch, and Bratty, that other page flipping we'll do after the next story. If that happens, I will buy Raven dinner. Ooh, I like food. Yes, but not if you're in one of your trying to save monies. Then I say no, not allowed. Okay, dice time. I move the mic again. I was stupid for moving it back. Okay, here we go. Well, I wasn't stupid. I should be nice to myself. But I had mixed up. Here we go. Rice time. No, it's not rice. Dice time. Okay. One more roll. Let's see. Okay. Away you guys go. Pretty rocks. Okay, now I guess we'll get back to our stories. Come on, thingy. There we go. The tightening little wheel of the mic is taking forever. Ugh. Sleepy Raven. Why am I sleepy? Okay, I bonked my head back. It looked like she's looking way up, but it's because I'm leaning on my chair. She looked like she's super excited and awake, but really it's more like, Well, I'm eepy. Why are you dropping all the Uno reversers? Just reverse, 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 reverse. Who has the most reverses? Another reverse. Another. Huh? Do we have another? What? Oh? Yar? I'm gonna wait. Do we have another one, Yar? I'm sure Yar's looking. There. It's an effort. Okay, the next story, by the way, is called Strings, so I'll type that one out. That's what we're doing next. Ooh. Are we out of reverses? Cage with another one. And another one from the honk. I like that little cow. Cage with another one. Ooh. La honk with another one. It's funny because we're dipping into the blues. So often they have reds in the emotes. Does anybody use yellow or green? Ooh, orange. I never seen orange. And pink. Funny. I never seen those. But where's the yellow and green? I'd be silly. I'd be silly because I'd be tired. For no reason. I got plenty of sleeps. Why am I tired? Did I get too much sleeps? Ugh. Okay. I think I am out. No, you. I think I'll count that one. That one counts. I know you. I do have a know you. Oh, there you go. Oh, and another one from the honk. This is very entertaining. No, you. Ooh, I like that one with a YU this time. Oh, right, I was going to do stretch. Thank you, Shockwave, for the stretch. I will do a stretchy stretch. Nay from Yar. Ooh, that's nice. It's dearly you. Yeah, of course, it's gotta be YU for dearly you. Dumb. Hey, that's not the bit. But I do love the little dumb sticker. So cute. Oh no. Ooh, it's just a card. That one's fancy. I like it. This is me trying to keep my rice privilege. Your rice privilege. Hello, Pudgy Tater. You enter with a bonk. The war begin. Okay. Also, fun fact, this one was Pandagiri, which is Panda Girl like Onigiri, not girl. Oh, sorry. I keep saying Panda Girl. It's Pandagiri. You're right. I'm sorry. Oops. I do keep reading that wrong. Yar. LeChonk is trying to ban me from rice. Don't call LaHonk Chonk. We call LaHonk Bonk. Although I do love that little Pokemon. It's so stupid. All the Pokemon is so fun. Don't be sorry, though. It's an ongoing joke that everyone misreads it. Everyone. Machi's too polite to correct people usually. It's just like quick. It's at the end and the dots blend together. I should have seen it. I'm sorry. Oh, please adopt. Oh, I want kittens. No. She blames Twitch's font. I agree. I fully agree. I think I've said it before where I hate how it's very common for people to use the fonts that make it impossible to tell if a straight line is a number 1, a letter L, a capital I. It's too many. I don't like it. It's annoying. Stop. Do better. See right there. Nightly is for you. That L is the same as the I. Rude. I don't like. Do better. We can do better. Okay. Alright. I try to focus. I try to. I fail, but I try. Oh. Yep. See? Which letter was that? This or this? Pick stomps or head pats? I will pick head pats, thank you. But, okay. You do you. Oh, go enjoy your rice. Oh. Rice plant? Rice bowl? Rice ball? Which one? All of them? Do you have all? Ooh. No, you're banned. I'm banned? It was alternating L and I. Of course it was. Illegal but true. By the way, Lahonk, we've only got one space for the stationary emote, but we have 2 spaces for brain for animated. So that's what we have left. So I think our stare will eventually happen. Ironically, the person in Vice chat with a name like that got outed by an automated Twitch message that forgoes capitalization. Ooh. You found someone that has the straight alternating like that? That's cool. Trippity trip trap. Suck it. Okay, focus, Raven. Goodness, what are you doing? You're being all over the place. And probably that is fun. Probably that is best. We need a yapping chat, a yapping stream. That's what I mean. It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. Okay, where were we? Where's the page? I put a freaking... There it is. Ugh. I put a bookmark, but I couldn't find it. Huh. Their name is all that. They say it's so they're nameless. Ah, but now we know they are or a yapping emote might be fun, but I know we're low on animated slots. Maybe for 7TV. I'm thinking yapping stream. I want to save the animated slots for something. Death Noah got some a long time ago, and I still haven't gotten them from them. I wonder if Death Noah got them from the person they commissioned, but we're waiting on a head pats from them, so I'm hoping that it happened. But I will, you know what? I will message Death Noah. I will look into if that happened or not. And if we are giving up on it, then we will make our own. Huzzah. And yeah, how you get that? You get sub points. Enough of those and more slots open up, and we'd have to have a bunch more. I think we need to get to 140 for a new slot, but the good news is that once you've gotten to that point, they stay open. Like we lost a bunch of sub points, less subs happened, but we still have all the slots that we have. So if I get a bunch for just a short amount of time, then I can have a bunch later, even if people don't stay subscribed. Funky rules there. Okay. Strings. The next story. I promise. Here we go. I was sitting in the sun on a turned-over wash tub when Ellsworth came walking by my cabin. He got his hands in the pockets of his heavy denim and buckskin jacket, and he had the woolly collar turned up against the frosty fall air. I just know him to see him. I don't know what I just know him to see him. Oh, I understand. I just know him to see him. We never talked to each other, and I only heard about the trouble he is in. Ooh, what trouble? You're Silas, he say to me. He rocked back on his heels, his hands still in his pockets. Yeah, I say, trying to decide what it is he might want with me. I'm Ellsworth, shot both sides, he say. Be quiet for a second, then add, I suppose you heard of me? I know your name. Everybody do. You just have to kill somebody to get everybody to know you. Ooh. What a way. Okay, so he... Ooh, alright. And what a name. Shot both sides. Okay. You have to kill somebody to get to know everybody to know you. And he smiled at me from his long oval face. He have his hair in 2 braids to his shoulders, and his nose be long and straight. He got a lean look about him like a starved dog. What can I do for you, I say. I read your book. My cousin gave it to me. I liked it, and I was wondering... He reached inside his jacket and bring out a few sheets of folded yellow paper and hand them to me. Then he turn around and walk away. I'll come back in a day or 2, he say over his shoulder. Ellsworth been down on his luck of late. About 4 months ago, he got charged with murder. Happened at a drunk up way back on the reserve. He shot a guy named Joey Owl. His legal aid lawyer somehow got him out on bail. I don't understand how things like that work, and he is sort of free until his trial come up in the winter. I heard, too, that his wife left him and took their kids. What he's given me is a kind of diary, written on pages, been torn from a scribbler. The writing is printed in real small letters, so sometimes I gotta guess at what he is saying. And then this looks like, I'll say when it's indented, it's like looking like one of the scribblings. September 4th. Woke up about 6 o'clock in the morning, ready to face another day, a day when I got to do something different. Today, I go visit my lawyer in Edmonton. Then we're back to Silas. He spends another couple of pages telling how he had to wait for 4 hours in the lawyer office and then found out they didn't want to see him anyway. He tell, too, of how he come home real mad and get drunk. Okay, and then indented. They going to send me to a doctor who will try to get me to remember the events of the night I killed my friend, Joey Owl. Yeah, Better Call Saul theme. I told them I drank so much I don't remember anything except one scene that stuck in my mind like it was flashed up by lightning on the clouds. I can see Joey sitting on the bed in his room asking me to kill him. And I guess I did. Joey was my friend. We used to get drunk together. I wished I hadn't killed him. But we was drunk, and he asked me to. I don't know why he did, or I did. Back to Silas. I wonder why Ellsworth want me to read this writing of his. And that's about the first thing I ask him the next time he come by, which is about 2 weeks later. By then his paper is kind of frayed from being carried in the back pocket of my jeans. I figure you write down stories you must be able to real good, is all he say at first. Then after a long silence, I got nobody to read what I write. I have to write these words down. Thought you might understand. He's just trying to get this out and he needs someone to listen. He is still standing in the yard, leaning on the door frame, even though I invite him in. I understand, I tell him. I hope you don't want me to get his words printed up for him. A couple of my lady friends of my ma's brought me stories they'd written, and there are rumors that Chief Tom Crow-Eye be writing his life story. I guess so. In the stories that we don't have here, I read the one book, but then there must have been other stories where we got, Silas's book must have got published. So that's good for him, and now everybody's like, oh, can you make this a thing? He's like, oh, I don't want to write yours. It's mine. Okay. Ellsworth don't say no more. He just give to me a few more pieces of paper and walk away. We've got another indent from Ellsworth. Today I feel tight as a string of barbed wire stretched until it ready to break. I miss my kids and my wife. cabin is cold, and I'm too lazy to light a fire. My wife, Caroline, went back to her home on the Red Pheasant Reserve. I can't go visit her or the kids. A condition of my bail is that I don't go no more than 50 miles from this reserve, so I'm already part way in prison. Back to Silas. He come back the next day with more yellow paper in his hand. We talk a little at the door. I sure surprised at how gentle he speak most of the time. The guys he used to run with was tough and mean, and I figured him for the same. What he writes seemed more gentle than him in person. And then Ellsworth again. Troubles are piled on me until I feel like that man I seen in a picture who hold the world up on his hands. Only I'm going down under the weight. Sometimes it would be nice to cry or cuss or scream, just anything to let loose all the heat inside me. I'm gonna have to blow off steam soon, and I'm afraid for what I might do. Back to Silas. Next time he come, I was away somewhere, and he stuck one sheet of paper in the door jamb. Back to Ellsworth. Silas, you want to hear a funny joke? My cousin, Luke Traveler, he say to me one day, I want to sell my car, but it shot to hell and got 100,000 miles on it. Take it down to the garage, I say to him. Get Fred Cryer to turn back the speedometer. A couple of weeks later, I see Luke again. Hey, I say to him, you been able to sell your car yet? Why'd I want to sell it, says Luke. It only got 10,000 miles on it. Okay. And then back to Silas. I tell Mr. Nichols, my counselor up at the tech school at Wetaskiwin, about Ellsworth, and it is him who give me the magazine I get the idea from. About the 5th time Ellsworth visit, he finally come inside. I don't know what else to do, so I write some of my trouble on paper, but even then I gotta find someone to read it. Look, I killed my best friend. My wife and kids are gone. I'm gonna spend a long time in a white man prison. My lawyers say if I'm lucky, I get maybe 10 years for manslaughter. Only release I know of is to get drunk or get high on wildwood flower. What I like to do is throw a tantrum, roll on the floor like a little kid, cry and maybe hold my breath. Don't you ever feel like that, Silas? No, I guess you don't. You got everything going for you. All of that, Ellsworth, I guess, said. Sometimes I do, I say. My troubles ain't serious like yours, but I have to deal with government and with people who print books, and I have to write exams at the tech school, and everybody figure that because I wrote a book, I'm rich. I'd make lots more money on the welfare, and lots of times I feel all empty inside and think for sure I'm never going to be able to write another word. When I get real tense, I feel like there be birds fluttering inside me. Ellsworth smiles some and lean across the table toward me. Silas, I feel so tight all the time, like I'm hollow and I got a pole run between my ears with guitar strings tied to it, and another pole across my stomach, where the other end is tied. Some of them strings is gonna break soon, and I'm afraid of the sound of them snapping and of the way they're gonna tear up my insides when they do. You know what's the most awful, Silas? I can't afford to strike up a close relationship with nobody as long as this trouble hang over me. It would be so nice to. My social worker is Indian and I could like her easy, and I think she likes me too. It would be good to have a woman to confide my thoughts to, but it wouldn't be fair, even if I could see my wife. But her brother talked her into moving. He's a chief at Red Pheasant Reserve in Saskatchewan. Next day there is more paper stuck in the door when I get back from tech school. Hey Silas, you want to hear about my Uncle Clayton shot both sides? He decided he was going to raise sheep, but the coyotes kept carrying them all off. So Uncle Clayton got a government loan through the Indian Affairs and he built the best sheep pens in Alberta. He put up some fine mesh fence, too high for coyotes to jump over and too close to the ground to dig under, and strong posts, each one braced with a 2x4. First morning, Uncle Clayton get up, all his sheep be dead, and he got a half-dozen coyotes locked in his pen. What he done was brace the posts from the outside, and the coyotes just walked up the braces into the pen. That was 20 years ago, and Uncle Clayton still get kidded about how he started Alberta's first coyote farm. That's great. Oops. Okay. I will deal with that after. Back to Silas. I hardly get that read before Ellsworth come banging at my door. I'm afraid for what I'm going to do tomorrow night, he said to me. I hear my brother-in-law, should be brother-in-law, is coming down from Saskatchewan. His name is Clarence Ahenakew. He bringing his truck and gonna pick up the rest of my furniture from my house and haul it away. If it hadn't been for him, Caroline would have stuck with me. Now, even if I get off, I got no wife or kids or furniture, and all because of this fat brother-in-law who think he's so good because he hold a job and go to church. What did your brother-in-law have against you? He must have not liked you even before you got in trouble. He was sore that Caroline didn't marry a friend of his, and sore 'cause she moved down to this reserve. I'm already charged for killing one guy. Couldn't make it much worse if I was charged for killing two. Oof. I figure I gotta do what I can for Ellsworth. I've had this idea for quite a while now, ever since I read the psychology magazine Mr. Nichols give to me, and I hear Ellsworth talk about how he is full of tight strings. I know his feeling. Sometimes when I have to put up with the government or the church, I feel so helpless. I get so mad my hands shake. I even tell my idea to our medicine lady, Mad Etta. All white men ain't dumb, says Etta. Just most of them. That psychology doctor could probably be a medicine man if he was to get some training. And she laughed and laughed, shaking on her tree trunk chair. Problem with you guys and most Indians nowadays is that you don't work enough. If you and Ellsworth had to ride bareback on a pony for 3 days to find a buffalo herd, then kill a couple, cut them up and drag them back to camp, you'd both be too tired to be nervous. You'd get to sleep for a day, then go hunt more food. I had to take a long pull on her bottle of Lethbridge Pale Ale. You guys got too much time for thinking. Good hard work would put us medicine men out of business. All old-time medicine men had to worry about was drumming up good weather and lots of buffalo. Now people come to me with bad nerves 'cause they feel guilty about hitting their girlfriend or kicking their cat. And she shakes sideways on her chair so hard I'm afraid she's going to spill off. That night, I invite Ellsworth to have supper with us. He's got some kind of plan. We got to see what he's going to come up with this psychology magazine plan. He make a big fuss over my little sister Dolores, say how she remind him of his own little girl. Right after supper, we borrow Louis Coyote's pickup truck and drive to Wetaskiwin to Poppenroth's auction store. They have there a sale every Thursday evening. We snoop around, look at boxes of clothes, pots and pans, appliances, books, and just plain junk. I pick out what it is we are going to bid on and tell Ellsworth he got to pay half of the money. It is about an hour into the sale before our box came up. I bid it at $1 and somebody ups it to $2. We take it up by quarters, up to $4 before the other fellow quit. Ellsworth grumbles some as he give me his $2 share, saying we could have bought a case of beer instead. It is a big box, used to hold McGavin Toastmaker bread, and it take both of us to carry it to the pickup truck, and we kind of stagger across the rutted parking lot. I think this is about the dumbest idea I ever heard of, says Ellsworth as we drive it back towards the reserve. Once we get there, we got a problem. We need use of a cement floor. What are you doing? First, we go to Ben Stonebraker's place. One of the garages behind his general store, what he used for store canned goods in, have a cement floor. We back the truck up to the garage, pull open the green-painted wood doors, and Ellsworth and me unload the box that be crammed full of dishes onto the cement. Ooh. Is he gonna break a bunch of stuff? I'm excited if that's it. Always seemed to me that the floor be cement, and guess it was 40 years or so ago when it was built. About all that's left now is little patches of cement, like lily pads and a pond of gravel. I'd take a cup out of the box and toss it down on the floor, but it missed the concrete and skid off to a corner like it'd been kicked. Where else can we go? I said to Ellsworth. Should have stayed in Wetaskiwin. They got lots of sidewalks there. Ain't something you can do on a sidewalk. People would look strange at white men doing what we going to do, but for Indians they'd have police called and nothing flat. I don't see how this gonna do either of us any good. But what about Blue Quill's Hall, says Ellsworth. Nothing going on there tonight, and there's an empty stone room in the basement. I should have thought of that before, I say. Sometimes I clean up the hall after it's been used, and I got a key to the side door. We load the box back up on the truck and drive down to Blue Quill's. The sky is clear, the October moon bright as chrome. We open the side door and carry in the box. Be careful we don't break none of these, says Ellsworth, laughing and puffing as he backed down the stairs. Most of the basement is used for a kindergarten class. The rooms smell of chalk and wet mittens. Over in the corner is a stone room about 8 by 10. We skid the box across the concrete, open the door, and pull the string to turn the light on. There are some empty shelves along one side and a beat-up lampshade lay in the corner. The rooms smell of cement dust and lumber. What do we do now? Says Ellsworth. Seems to me to be awful quiet. I sure wish I had Mad Etta here to help me start. I close the door. The box is full of all kinds of old dishes. Cups, saucers, bowls, and a big stack of chipped white and green restaurant plates. I pick one of them up. I show you, I say, even though I never done it before either. You think of somebody you don't like as you bust the dish. That's all? You gotta try it to see how it works. I hold the heavy green and white plate with both hands and raise it up above my head. This is for the RCMP, I say, and smash the plate down on the floor. It break in about 50 pieces. Wham! Is the noise it make, and the sound bounce around that room like a hard rubber ball. Try it, I say. Your brother-in-law's the guy who bugs you most. Break one on him. Ellsworth pick up a saucer, lift it up with one hand. This is for Clarence, he says, quiet-like, and toss down the saucer. It break in half, and don't make much noise at all. Do another one, I say. Only show that you're really mad. Ellsworth take another plate and raise it up. This is for that legal aid lawyer who talk in words I don't understand and make me wait all day in his office. And you break it down hard. That's better, I say, and when I look at Ellsworth, he has the start of a smile on his face. This here's for Chief Tom, I say, smashing a cup so the pieces skip into the corner. Can you do somebody more than once? Say Ellsworth. Ain't no rules. Do somebody as many times as it take to be not so mad anymore. Loosen up them strings inside you. Pretty soon we are both making quick trips to the box for plates and cups and bowls. Our voices collide with each other, and sometimes we smash things at the same time. It is almost as if we are doing a dance. I don't know about Ellsworth, but for me, it is like I stand naked in the sun. It is like I tear open my chest, and a flock of black birds is flying out one after another, wings flapping with sounds like someone playing cards down hard on a table. We look at each other and grin, yell some, and smash some more. I grin big as I think that outside the hall, all that smashing must sound like muffled gunshots. The end. Oh, I like it. That one's cute. Let's get some smashing. One of those rage rooms. It's fun. But there you go. That was strings. Next, we're going to get back to all our triggers, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'm just going to hydrate and pop up for just a second. But we'll start with page flipping once already again. Okay. You talked to someone who used to work at a raid room, said people were mostly good about it, but she did have some near incidents. I wonder what kind of incidents she means. Where people just get too excited, the rage starts being dangerous to someone else. Is that it? It was a cute one. I liked that one. It sounded like we were maybe going to go down some darker roads, and obviously our guy had a dark story behind it, but it was cute. Rage room. But alright. The tired. They strike. Let's do some more page flipping. Whoop whoop whoop. Okay. Oh, come on. We'll do the little book stiff papers and then the big book fluffy papers. If there's any other redeems, this is the time, or else I'll go right into the next story. Here we go. Okay, big book. There is our books. Now it's time for comb twing. Woohoo! Alright. Thank you for the redeems. Here we go. Alright, now I'll do keys. It's keys time again. There's our keys. Now beaded bracelet. So I'm gonna bump up the microphone so it's a bit more sensitive for it, because this one is real quiet. But then we'll do this. And then I guess we'll go to the next story, which is nice. Slowly louder. Okay, here we go. There was our bracelet. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing we need to run a quick ad. I'll run a 30-second ad for some extra time so it doesn't interrupt the story real quickly. Just real fast. Okay, here comes the ad. I'm so sorry, but here you go. Oh, have to always remember to give the warning for the ad, because those of the folks that get the ad, it get real loud sometimes. Gotta give them a warning. Oof. I'm thinking of adding a bunch more other redeems, including like whisper and stuff, because I cannot maintain a whisper for the whole thing. It killed my voice. If you have ideas, you should drop it. Tell me. Been on the receiving end of that in other channels. Oh, yes. Always have to be the warning for the ads, so you have some time to react. Bring down the volume. Okay, let's go with the next story. Boop-a-doop. Let's see, what is this one titled? Oh, this is the Moccasin Telegraph. And I think that this will probably be our last one. But here we go with the Moccasin Telegraph. Moccasin Telegraph. And I put it over here where you guys can see. Oh, get out of there, little. There we are. I know some aren't comfortable with it, but heartbeats are always nice. My fave trigger, actually. I don't think I have a good microphone for it, so I don't think I can. But I could try it. We could see if we can pick that up on this microphone. I don't think it's quite sensitive enough. And it's a hand-me-down. It has its troubles sometimes, so I don't know. Okay, Yar, go get your food. Go feed. Look after yourself. Thanks for being here. Have a nice night. Maybe we'll see you for tonight's stream. If not, all good. Thank you. Okay. Yes, the Moccasin Telegraph. Oh goodness, this is a wild first sentence. It sounds like it's a lot. This is gonna be a dramatic one. Okay. It's basically, we're starting with, it was a dark and stormy night. So here we go. There was heavy snow on the ground the night Bert Lameman did himself a murder up to Wetaskiwin. He'd been around the reserve in the afternoon and stole Robert Coyote's .22 rifle. They say he looked drunk and stoned when he walked into the 7-Eleven store on 49th Ave. Oh wait, I'm way too loud. I'm sorry. Hold on. There we go, that should be better. On 49th Ave. And shot the clerk. Clerk's name was Bobby something, a white kid with short hair who went to the high school and was saving his money to buy a fancy pair of skis. At least, that's what the newspapers said. Bert didn't say this is a holdup or anything like that. He just walked in and shot the clerk, reached over the counter, and took $27 from the till, then staggered out into the dark. There were 4 or 5 people who seen him do it. He didn't make much of an attempt to get away. He just walked a block or two to a small park, with some people following along, keeping him in sight. He kicked in the door to a skating rink shack and went inside. A few minutes later, the RCMP came along, and Bert take a couple of shots at them as they run up toward the shack. RCMPs didn't take kindly to being shot at, so they blast through the open door with shotguns, rifles, and handguns. Bert, he ended up with enough bullets in him to kill maybe 5 or 6 Indians. Very dark, very dark. Okay. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot more about police brutality stuff, and very likely a good deal on the substance use as well. Lots of racial. So brace yourselves, but okay. So far that seemed like just a story of how a bad dude get blown away by the police, but it don't take long for it to turn into something else altogether. Even around the reserve, nobody liked Bert very much. Whew. He was a bully, a thief, and a liar. That last day he'd drunk some homebrew and sniffed up some angel dust. He'd swallow a doorknob if somebody told him it tasted good, is what my friend Frank Fencepost say about him. When they have the funeral for the store clerk, none of us Indians go. White people are feeling ugly, and they look meaner than usual at us when we're walking down the streets in Wetaskiwin. Bert's funeral get held up, 'cause there be no money to pay for it. His mother, Mrs. Bertha Layman, don't have any, and his father been dead for a lot of years. Ordinarily, we'd take up a collection of some kind, but none of us have much sympathy for what Bert done. Then the AIM people arrive in town. First I seen a couple of cars and a van with South Dakota license plates, and then I seen Gunner Laframboise, the Alberta organizer for AIM, sitting with 4 or 5 cool-looking dudes in the Travel Lodge cocktail lounge. These guys got shiny braids, $100 black Stetsons, and wear plastic Indian jewelry. AIM usually stand for American Indian Movement, but most people around here call them assholes and moccasins. American Indian Movement act kind of like a religion who say everybody who don't believe in them is gonna go to hell. Gunner, when he see me, motioned me over to his table. He introduced me to guys from Montana, Wyoming, and someplace else, and they say they are Crow, Cheyenne, and Blood. That's their different tribes and such. Or are those their names this time? Week from today, we gonna have a funeral for our murdered brother. To walk the boy. Oh, okay. Take the pup. Go, go, go. Week from today, we gonna have a funeral for our murdered brother, say Gunner. You fellows be sure and come and bring all your friends. I think you got it wrong, says Bedelia Coyote. It was Bert who done a murder. Maybe, says Gunner with a sly smile. It never been proved in court. But the RCMP shot him down in cold blood just because he was an Indian. Maybe Silas here, he says, pointing at me, could write up a story for the newspaper. I don't write for newspapers, I say, and if I did, I'd write the truth. Wouldn't want you to write anything but the truth, say Gunner. Sure, somebody shot that guy in the store, but a poor Indian just happened to be walking by, and he panicked and run when he seen all them people coming after him, and then the RCMP executed him. And Gunner give us all a big innocent smile. In a day or two, the streets of Wetaskiwin begin filling up with more Indians than I ever seen, even on treaty days, and most of them is strangers. There's about 4,000 Indians in the 4 bands that make up the Ermine Skin Reserve, so there's lots of people from Hoboma that I don't know, but I can tell just by looking that most of the Indians walking the sidewalks and darkening the doorways of businesses is strangers. The weather has warmed up, which ain't usual for this part of Alberta in the winter. The air gets soft and the streets and sidewalks covered in a black slush, and everywhere is strange and calm, just like when the wind dies for a few seconds before a thunderstorm hits. When I go into the Gold Nugget Cafe where I work some Saturdays, Miss Goldie, the owner, put me right to work. Say she is busier than a weekend, even though it only Tuesday. People are so quiet, she say. I know how to handle drunks and troublemakers, but all this silence frightens me. If it scares Goldie, it scared the TV and radio guys too. The murder get good play in the Wetaskiwin Times and on CFCW, the Camrose radio station, but hardly get a paragraph in the Edmonton Journal. TV, radio, and newspapers always listen to people who yell loudest, so Gunner Laframboise and his friends get a lot of time and space. Gunner take credit for all the people coming to town, but those arriving sure don't look like militants. They is just ordinary folks, and a lot of them bring along their kids and their campers. The next night, about 11 o'clock, everybody is in bed when I hear a car stop outside the cabin and lights blaze bright as the sun shine through the windows. Oh. Okay, nervous. When I open the door with Ma, Sadie, and my brothers and sisters peeking out behind me, it is like the northern lights been squeezed together and pointed at the cabin. Are you Silas Ermineskin, the assistant medicine man? A white voice say. I tell them that I am. What's going on up in Wetaskiwin? Where are all the people come from? The voice say. I shield my eyes from the light, and by squinting real hard, can see a guy with a camera on his shoulder and 2 or 3 more people behind him aiming the lights at me. They've opened up the doors of a white van that say Canadian Broadcasting Corporation on the side, CBC. Ooh. What is it you want to know? I say. I'm sleepy and ain't thinking so good. The voice says something about them coming here because I had some books printed up and that somebody told them I'd make a good spokesman for my people. Sounds like Gunner. Then it repeats the question again. Bunch of folks come to a funeral, I say. I've learned by listening to Chief Tom how to not really answer a question. Good move, my guy. In this case, when they're just bugging you, yeah. But there are more people arriving every hour. There are Indians from as far away as Sioux Lookout in northern Ontario. Some have come from the Northwest Territories, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado, and from all over the prairie provinces, too. No law against folks coming to a funeral, I say. I wish Mad Etta was here. About this time, my friend, Frank Fencepost, pushed through the crowd and stand beside me. Frank, he ain't afraid of nobody and likes to talk about things he don't know nothing about. He would make a good reporter, but a better politician. I'm his manager, Frank says, pointing at me, and pretty soon I hear him saying to the TV people, while he smiles as if a pretty girl just asked him to her hotel room, on a bad weekend, the bear will eat its own young. I don't know what that means, and I know Frank don't, but the TV film it, and the radio people who followed the TV out here record it, and a couple of newspaper ladies who followed the radio car write it down like it coming out of a minister. Frank, he sure is happy to get to talk. Just call me Chief Frank, he says. He tell one story about how us Indians get our names by being called after the first thing our fathers seen after we was born. It is a pretty good story, but end with some 4-letter words that catch a radio lady by surprise. I can hear a man's voice, must be all the way back at her radio station, yelling at her. Chief Frank, how do all these people know to come here? Asked one TV man who got slick yellow hair and headphones as big as frying pans over his ears. You never heard of the Moccasin Telegraph, say Frank? Get a surprised look on his face. Ooh. No, say the TV man. Well, says Frank, and take a deep breath, and I bet if I listened close I could hear the wheels turning inside Frank's head. The Moccasin Telegraph is how white men say us Indians get messages to Indians as long ways away. I let you in on the secret. You know how prairie chickens drum in the underbrush in the fall and how that sound travel for miles? Well, a wise old medicine man named of Buffalo who walks like a man, long time ago mix up some herbs and roots in a porcupine bladder and use it to tan prairie chicken hides. When them hides is stretched over a special drum, why the sound travel for maybe 100 miles, and it don't make a bump 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 sound like a regular drum, but a quiet hum like the telegraph wires do way out in the country on a quiet night. All these press peoples look at Frank like they was 3-year-old and he was Big Bird off the television. Messages just hum across the country, go from medicine man to medicine man, tells all the Indians when they are to gather for a powwow or celebration, or in this case, Bert Lehman's funeral. And Frank, he fold his arms across his chest and look real solemn. How many people do you think have arrived so far, and how many do you expect by the day of the funeral? Asked a girl with silver hair so stiff it looked like it got glue mixed with it. Frank screwed up his face. Hey, us Indians is just like the government. We got different departments. Numbers ain't my department. You ask my friend Silas here about that. No, don't you do. Hell, I know so little about numbers, I keep my fly open in case I have to count to 11. Oh my god. You little shit. And he grinned at the radio lady, make sure her eyes get down to see the bulge in his jeans. Ugh, ick. The next day, Frank's picture on the front page of the Edmonton Journal, along with a story about thousands of people converging on Wetaskiwin for a murderous funeral. And they say he was on the CBC Evening News, too. That was a pretty good story, I say to Frank later. You're getting almost as good as me at making them up. What do you mean making up, says Frank. That was all true. Would I lie to the CBC? Actually, Buffalo Who Walks Like a Man was the father of our medicine lady, Mad Etta. And next day, Frank, he sent a television crew up to interview her. My girl, Sadie One Wound, was there and say that Etta, who weighed close to 400 pounds, look at the TV crew, mean as a bear, been got out of her den in February and tossed one of the cameramen about 50 feet into the willows. Then she rocked that white van back and forth, and if Sadie hadn't talked soft to her and got one of the TV crew to promise to her got the TV crew to promise her 2 dozen of Lethbridge Pale Ale, she would have tipped that van right over on its side. I don't doubt it. Gunnar Laframboise from AIM followed the radio and TV people around like he was a puppy, and they got pork chops tied to their ankles. You can call it anything you want, but I call it an execution. If it had been a white man in that shack, they would have just surrounded it and would have brought in 10 social workers, a couple of priests, his parents, aunts and uncles, and his favorite hockey player to talk him into giving himself up. Why are you here? Me and my red brothers are here to try and see that justice is done. And he smiled real friendly for the camera. By next afternoon, the press people are so desperate for news, they now go around interviewing each other. Frank get to tell his stories over and over, and people keep asking me questions. Chief Tom put in an appearance 'cause he can smell a reporter from 5 miles away, but they get tired of him quick 'cause he don't even know who Bert Lehman was, and all he want to talk about is the Alberta government oil pricing policies. He don't know nothing about that either, but he read off a letter sent to him personal by Peter Lockheed. Frank, he get tired of telling stories and interrupt a guy who got a silver microphone pushed right up into his face. Hey, says Frank, I want to show you guys my guitar. Oh no. I could have swore that's the guitar he sent with the brother that went off to the Joseph, I think, maybe, or Tom, I don't know. Silas's brother that got sick when he was young, and so he's mentally behind. They sent him to like a hospital to stay because there was an incident where he was like being friendly with a little girl and the mom freaked out because she doesn't know. Anyway, they sent him with a guitar because he's a musician. Tell me he didn't get another expensive guitar, Frank. But okay, he says, hey, I want to show you my guitar, and shove under the reporter's nose a little transistor radio, which ain't much bigger than a deck of cards, and what he carry in the pocket of his jean jacket most of the time. So he didn't get a guitar. This is a radio, say the reporter, who wearing a top coat over a yellow blazer, toe rubbers, and a red wool scarf about 10 feet long. And turn it off or we'll get feedback, he's saying in a cross voice. You guys too proud to look at a poor Indian's guitar, say Frank. I mean, it ain't fancy as what Johnny Cash or Roy Clark play on, but it's the best I can afford. That announcer quick look over at his assistant, who carrying something like a parachute full of batteries on his back. There be black wires connecting the two of them together like they be divers, or maybe that special kind of twins. It's a radio, the assistant man says. Pretend it's a guitar, I say, doing as good as I can to keep a straight face. He's likely to get mean if you don't. That's a really nice guitar, man, says the announcer. That's better, says Frank. What the fuck? Being weird. Okay. David One Wound, my girlfriend's brother, make his living by several kinds of creative borrowing. Oh no. He carry on his back all year round a red nylon backpack which hold a car jack, a lug wrench, and 6 different kinds of screwdriver. David claim he can take all 4 wheels off a car or truck in less than 4 minutes. While these interviews been going on, David One Wound and his friends took off the 2 far side tires of the CBC white van. Did it so careful even the engineer man inside didn't notice. Oh God, how? They carried off the wheels and left blocks of wood under the axles. Them guys get really mad when they try to drive away and the blocks tip over. They want somebody to call the RCMP. What good would that do, we say? RCMP don't carry no spare wheels, but I bet somebody from around here have spare parts. Gee, Frank, why don't you whistle up the One Wound Car Part Company? Oh no. Frank, he make a face like he's whistling, but no sound come out. The reporters is real surprised when David One Wound and Eddie Powder come from behind the hall, each carrying a tire and a wheel. Those are our tires, say the reporters. Oh no, those guys are spare parts. Those are spare parts we keep around in case of emergencies, says Frank, and everyone laugh. We sell them to you for only $100 each. Wow. But there are wheels. You guys don't catch on very quick, says Frank. He's breaking it. He's just gonna, you guys really aren't getting it, huh? Look, to be fair, we even take a vote on it. How many say these are Indian wheels, and how many say they are white man wheels? Everybody vote for them being Indian wheels, even some of the reporters. Oh boy, you shitheads. Okay. The funeral. First, it was gonna be from the little church on the reserve, with Father Alphonse doing the service. Ordinarily, there wouldn't have been 20 people there, just a few relatives and 1 or 2 friends, if Bert had that many. Even militant people like Bedelia Coyote was mad at Bert for giving all us Indians a bad name. Who do you figure gonna get remembered and used as an example every time Indians get mentioned, say Bedelia. It ain't guys like Mark Antelope who run in the Commonwealth Games, or Sandra Bitternose who getting to be a lawyer, or any of the people who got good jobs and stay out of trouble. Bert Lehman's name get thrown up for the next 10 years. And Bedelia bang her fist on the table in the Gold Nugget Cafe, make the coffee cups jump. She's not wrong at all. Next, they moved the funeral to the big Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Wetaskiwin. Then it get moved over to the Canadian Legion Hall, which hold more than 500 people. But as the town get fuller and fuller until it bulged like a gunny sack filled with hay, The funeral gets sent over to the hockey arena. At the arena, they put boards down to cover the ice, and the church have to hire a carpenter to build an altar. They hear that he built it too wide and tall, and they have a hard time gather up enough of their religious rugs and scarves to cover it up. The night before, all the cafes, stores, and bars was full with Indians. They say motels from Lacombe to Edmonton is full up, but it like the streets full of shadow people who walk quiet, as if the slushy sidewalks was made of moss. Nobody get in trouble, and the only noise is Gunnar Laframboise and his friends from AIM, who set up a card table on the corner of 51st Ave across from the Alice Hotel and try to sell memberships in AIM, but I don't see nobody buying. The funeral set for 10 o'clock, but the arena start to fill up at 8. It got real cold overnight, and the mud of the parking lot froze solid, looked like fancy chocolate, and there'd be little puddles of water turned to ice, and they crack loud as breaking glass when cars and campers crunch across the lot. The car is covered deep with frost, and I can see the marks where windows have been scraped off. The TV and radio men have faces red with cold, and they slap their arms against their sides while they take pictures of everybody filling in for the service. It's funny to see people walking slow into an arena, looking like they just come off a hard day's work, instead of having expectant faces like hockey crowds usually do. There don't be no hearse. Instead, Gunnar hired old Pete Crookedneck, one of the only Indians who still know how, to build a travois. An old white horse got a big black bow tied to his bridle. What brain? Big black bow tied to his bridle. Dragged the travois carrying the coffin from the funeral home to the hockey rink. Then 8 guys, who I guess is all from AIM, 'cause they headed by Gunnar Laframboise, lift the coffin up shoulder high and carry it slow into the arena. Toward the end of the service, somebody give a signal. I don't see who, but a couple of 100 men stand up in all different parts of the arena and file outside real quick. Ooh. Father Alphonse from Hobbema do the Catholic burial service, but nothing more, with a priest from Sacred Heart in Wetaskiwin helping out. I heard that Father Alphonse tell Gunnar Laframboise he have him carted away by the RCMP if he try to speak at the funeral. There be a half dozen or so RCMPs back behind the altar, but they stay mainly out of sight. All Father Alphonse say about Bert is that it a shame he died so young, and about the time his microphone stopped working. About that time his microphone stopped working, so if he planned more, he couldn't say it anyway. Was that planned ahead or not? There had to be close to 6,000 people at that funeral. Seeing that many quiet people send a shiver down my back. But what get to me even more is when we walk outside. Right from the front of the arena, clear down to 51st Avenue, there be about every 6 feet, on both sides of the road, an Indian, stand with his feet at attention and his arms folded across his chest. The old white horse dragged the travois and coffin past that honor guard and onto the funeral home where they say Bert going to be cremated. Bertha Lehman, Bert's mother, and 4 of her other kids walk along behind the coffin. I hear that AIM bought her a new coat for the funeral. After the funeral, I hear just the end of an interview a radio man doing with Bert's mother. Tell me about your other children, Mrs. Lehman, say the interviewer. She talk a long time, but what it amounts to is 3 of her kids turn out good, and 3 don't. That don't impress the reporter, but it impressed me. It's a lot better than the average around here. Later on, the bars and cafes fill up again, but people stay quiet. Somebody tell me that for all their trouble, AIM only signed up 3 new members. Pretty soon the cars, pickups, and vans head out to Highway 2A and turn either north or south. Some of those people look kind of puzzled on the outside, like I feel on the inside. The end. Interesting story. Whew. Complicated little situation, but okay. I don't have quite enough time for a full next story, I don't think. So that will be the last of those. I should pick out who I'm going to raid next, but we can chat now if everybody's still here. I am planning to add a bunch more redeems, changing things up just a bit by adding stuff. Trying to try out some stuff that other people do. Fet is here on the video. You're back. Good, just for the end. What I'm planning... Oh yeah, you're supposed to be leaving for dance. What are you doing? Go. Get out. We're wrapping up, but still, go. Don't be late for dance. I'm going to be adding those redeems. If you have suggestions, recommendations, requests, whatever. Oh, you're back from dance. Ooh. I misunderstood. Well, welcome back, Fat. Hello. Quick planning session. Well, that's nice. That's good. If you have suggestions, I will take those. I will be sorting out the VOD with Vi. I'll be uploading yesterday's and today's VODs. I'll make sure those are up. Reminder to check out the YouTube, the Discord, the Throne if you like to do that. I'm trying to get the gaming laptop so that we can do some gaming with this, because my setup is not good for gaming. And maybe I'm looking at new microphones, a different one from the one I had, because somebody was recommending I get a different one, but I can't find it yet. Maybe a new microphone will be able to hear something like heartbeats easier. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm fairly certain this microphone is not going to be good enough to pick up heartbeats. But yeah. So, let me know, and hopefully we have some fun new stuff to play around with. I will unfortunately be not very useful next week, but I am still streaming tonight, and one more tomorrow. We'll have just a little bit more streams this week, and it'll be all chaos for streaming schedule next week, but I'll do what I can. I'm sorry. Things happen. I'm just glad I'll be getting some work, because then I has monies. Because then I can do more stuffs with y'all. I talked to an animator. We might be able to do some animating ideas that I had. It might not work out, but it would be cool. Wouldn't that be cool? I want to try. So, yeah. Alrighty. I will go. Ooh, at the animator. Just a new friend I made, and I hope to sort that out. My first idea was, the trial clip. I really want to see that. I can see it in my head. But yeah, okay. Alright, let's raid out. Remember to drop those suggestions for me if you have something that you're like, well, this other streamer does this. I want to see this. Oh, perfect. Thank you. I will quickly copy that. And let's go ahead and bop on over to the raiding. Boop, boop, boop. Yes, I sees them. They're here. They're good. Oh, there's our raid messages. Oh, come along. Come along. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to send messages in our little staff chat about emotes. My mods, because we have to pick which emotes are the best ones. We only have 3 slots. We got to pick which ones we're going to do. But okay, let's pop over to our raid. I'm so excited. Alright, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, I hope it's a really cozy time in this stream. Looks like it'll be great. And let's boop on over. Here we go. Let's go. Oh, come along. It'd be slow. Oh, there we go. Okay. When do I stop talking? When do I stop the stream? Okay, there. Alright, bye.